welcome all, each and every one, to this time in the midweek when we kind of top ourselves up and pull ourselves together and go into the next part of the week feeling really good and well and able to meet whatever crosses our path. So if you're here for the first time, thank you for joining us, and we're delighted to be in your company. And if you have appreciated what you might experience while you're in our company, then please do come back and visit us again. And to all of our wonderful, faithful members, it's good to be with you right now. So let us do what we really know how to do by now, those of us who have been doing this for quite some time. And for those who are new to our community, this is just an opportunity to release, relax, let go, and just be open and receptive to something maybe wonderful and good happening by means of you and me in this wonderful, blessed, and a gift of a day. So join me now in centering in the awareness of presence by simply taking a conscious connected breath. So we're going to breathe in, knowing we're breathing in the very life of spirit itself, and we breathe it out too. And I always like to think I'm breathing in a blessing and I'm breathing out a blessing. And what better thing could any one of us be doing, or better way to channel the breath, the life force of our being. So let's do that now. Just 3 times, 3 big deep breaths. So in this time together, please join me now in these moments of focus in connecting with the higher, the greater self of ourselves, the power and the presence of spirit within us. And to do that, I'm just going to ask us all to relax the body, to relax the mind, let the mind come to rest and the body come to stillness. And the only attitude is to be open and receptive, which means just simply listen, observe, listen. If it helps you, and it always helps me, to close my eyes, because that way I take myself out of all of the busyness of the embodiment and the distractions of the outer world, so that I can see with my inner eye and listen with my inner ear, while I am consciously breathing, blessing the breath that breathes me and blessing it as it goes out. And it is in between the gaps of the breath that wonderful, amazing, great, good things can happen. So this is what I'm knowing for each one of us right now. A peaceful mind, a relaxed body, an open spirit, a heart ready to receive and to give, a mind ready to be at peace and come to equilibrium, calm and balance, a body open and receptive to perfect flow. So I know that the mind that I'm using is the one mind of life, and I use it in a very unique way. And the way I use it indicates how my life is progressing or not. So I allow my mind to know that it is an amazing portal for great, great good when I'm thinking along the lines of good. I allow my emotional body to know that it too is a portal that can generate amazing energy of comfort and ease and high, wonderful energies going out that can soothe and calm, that can lift up, that can pacify, that can bring peace and joy. And I bless the physical body knowing it is indeed the form that spirit chose to know itself in form by means of this body now. And as such, it contains the infinite intelligence of the universe, and according to its divine design, it can function magnificently when non-interfered with by the way I think and by the way I feel. So I allow my mind and my emotion to absolutely be one with the understanding that the body temple is this genius center, this wonderful universe in and of itself that knows how to perfectly function when it is given the opportunity to do so. So I just allow the body to relax and feel at ease and to remember itself as this great, infinite, intelligent body of matter that it is. And I praise it and I bless it and I thank it for doing what it needs to do for me in order to keep me doing what I desire to do, to go where I want to go. And all of the things that the beautiful body does in service to me every single day, I'm grateful to it. And I bless my soul, my spirit. And I know for it that when the mind and the heart and the body are moving in unison, the soul is always free to soar. And that's where I like to be, soaring in spirit, soaring in mind, soaring in heart, soaring in body, and soaring as spirit's own individualized expression of itself. What I know for myself, I am knowing it and declaring it for every person on the plane and for every living thing. The joy of lifefulness, the joy of peace of mind and happy heart, the joy of knowing that through the way I think and feel and am, life is exalted, life is increased, life is supported, life is affirmed, life is integrated. Just simply by the way I can think and feel and know and be the true essence of who and what I am, and who allows spirit to flow copiously through the portal that I'm created to be. Knowing there's an inlet and an outlet to that amazing flow of grace. And the more of it that I allow to move through me, the more of it flows back into me. How sweet that is to know this. Even sweeter to be in cooperation with the flow. So peace, I say, peace in mind, peace in heart, peace in body, and peace in soul. For all of life. All of life. For life is one thing alone. Myriads of emanations of the divine, all uniquely pulsating and expressing in unique individualized ways. So blessings be in and through and by means of each one of us. May each be open and receptive to receive the blessing of grace and to share the blessing of grace. Then the world can be all that it is meant to be and can be. A world that works for everyone and everything. And a world that is a safe and joyous place to be in. So for all who are seeking answers to their questions, for all who are open and receptive to being the best of themselves. I say, God, by means of each, is now moving upward, forward, and onward, and in the process, blessing everything and everyone around them, bringing all of life along in that beautiful flow of expansion, without exception. So to God, to life, to light, be the glory in and through and by means of all of Spirit's creation, and in and through and by means of this individualized one, and all who hear and respond. I bless this world and all therein, and all upon it, and around it, and about it, and above and below it, into that wakeful state of readiness to be whole, to be one, to be life full. And I send forth what I know, knowing it is already responded to, as I in faith and gratitude say, and so it is. And so it is, my dear ones. So today I'm made very aware of the fact that, a week from today, we will be in our Thanksgiving Eve day. And it seems somehow it has come upon us rather quickly, and at the same time, in another way, it seems that this year has dragged along. It's amazing how those two experiences can happen simultaneously, but they do. But then everything is possible. So, for the coming week, I'm going to invite us all not to wait for Thanksgiving to share with our family or our elected family for that day very carefully and safely, or even if it's through, the virtual world, Zooming or FaceTime or whatever that is, not to wait until then to give thanks and think about Thanksgiving, but for the next of the week coming, to dedicate ourselves to being very, very grateful indeed, and to being the blessing wherever we are. And if we never leave our own homes, well, that's wherever we are, in our homes. We can be the blessing, sending forth blessing all the time into the world. I think we have no idea of its power, of its energy, of its might. And the more I hear of people who are engaged in the practice of blessing, the more wonderful stories I hear that sound like miracles, but they're not miracles. They're just a response to a stimulus. I bless and I am blessed. That's the way life works. What I put out there comes back to me, and with interest. So if I'm blessing everything and everyone, I get great benefit from that, which is not why I bless. It just feels so wonderful to bless instead of cuss. It really does. There's this huge difference in the energy to bless and to bless and to bless again. There are books written on blessings and its power. There are stories told by individuals who have tried it out, and the miraculous way their lives have been transformed as a consequence, that are, really do sound like miracles. So I'm inviting you, I'm inviting myself to really saturate ourselves in that state of blessing. Because you know why? When you're blessing and blessing and blessing at every turn and twist, there's no way you can be bitter or resentful. There's no way you can hold grudges. There is no way you can be nasty in any way. None whatsoever. But don't take my word for it. Just test it out. And I don't mean, bless your little heart, meaning, something else. I don't mean that kind of blessing. I mean, to bless is to know for someone or something highest good, highest good. And for your greatest enemy, should anybody have a greatest enemy, you can bless them and know for them their highest good. Because that's what's going to release you and me from the held on energy that causes us to be clenched, that causes us to stay in resentment, that causes us never to feel really right, no matter what. So perhaps some of us might, those of us like to make lists, can make a list of the people we'll work alongside of or with, people maybe who get on our last nerve, especially people who get on our last nerve. Let them be on the top of the list of blessings and see what happens. Don't take my word for anything. Try everything out. Test it out. If it bodes well with you, take it on board. If it doesn't, let it go out the window. But if something hits you, grabs you, and says, think about this, maybe there's something in this for you to know, then do that. Do that. Grasp it. Life is short, very, very short. Even if we live to be 150, it would seem to be very short on the planet. So we can either squander it or waste it or, let it sort of pass us by, bury our head in the sand or whatever, or we can use it. We can take it and use it and make the most of it and create amazing things in every good day as a consequence of that. It's an amazing, wondrous gift that you and I wake up and open our eyes every day. And I wonder how many of us on this planet feel that way. Gosh, God chose to wake up in me today. Now I choose to wake up in God. There's a whole different way of starting your day, and the energy to that is very different to, oh, good God, it's morning, and I have that awful meeting later on. Ugh. Take care of yourself, and this is one of the best ways you can take care of yourself. Be alive to your living, no matter what the circumstances are right now. Circumstances will change. They really will if you know it. If you allow yourself to really, really know it, they will change, and they will change for the better. And you and I must change every single day, because that's the nature of life, to change, morph itself into something more than it was before. But very few of us are good at change, except in our resistance of it. We're very good at that. But you know what? They say that the people who do the best in the world are the people who remain curious, like you were as a child. Do you remember all the questions we went and asked? And they were always why questions. And our parents had to listen to all these whys and did their best to answer them. So stay curious about your own life, number one, and how you are in it and what is happening in it and what is the life around you like because you're there. What is your influence on that? Are you an influencer? And if you are an influencer, because we all are, in what way do we influence on the affirmative side of life or not so affirmative side of life, or blah in the middle? I don't do any good, but I don't do any harm kind of thing. Where are we? This is a good time to ask the question. This is a little book by Ram Dass, and it's called Letting Go of the Person You Used to Be, and it's such a job to do that. And I recommend it because it's very, very good reading. And he says here, we have a choice. We can save ourselves from ourselves. What does this mean? He says, we can rescue our heroic higher self from our conflict-ridden and ego-driven limited self-concepts. Whoever thought that the rescuing in our lives was the biggest one would be to rescue ourselves from ourselves. When we say, I must rescue myself from myself, I'm meaning I must rescue myself, in capitals, from myself, the ego self. The ego self. That's your job and mine every day of our lives, and throughout the day sometimes, to rescue the true essence of our being and to wrestle it from the egoic, temporary, misguided sense of ourselves that we've allowed ourselves to identify with. It's a job, but we can do it. He says, we can save, where are we? Yes, we can save our good hearts from being corrupted by greed, materialism, pride, jealousy, and all the rest. But walking this path and putting out these fires is not easy. If it were, the streets would be filled with so many enlightened beings that we wouldn't need electricity for illumination. What is it about ourselves, my dear one? What is it about ourselves that we're so reluctant to acknowledge? What is that? I think for many people they're afraid to examine themselves because they feel they'll come up lacking, wanting, not enough. And quite the opposite is true if you invest in a relationship with yourself. You will find beneath all the flotsam and jetsam of the outer world and the busyness of the embodiment, there's a vast, amazing depth, richness of being that is you, that is to be discovered and wants to be discovered. So who are you? Who am I? I mean, it changes every moment in the day sometimes. I'm a this, I'm a that, and the next, all the hats we wear. Because we're always in and out of the flow of energy. Where our energy is, you'll know how and where and who you are. And that energy is the life force of our being. And you and I are responsible for generating it in such a way that it never falls below that 51% that keeps us really sane and able on this plane. And when we do find ourselves getting below the 51%, to do something about filling and topping it up again. It seems to me that as human beings, we have a certain amount of energy. It's an illusion, but this is what we think or feel. A certain amount of energy in the day, and as the day wears on, our energy wears out or wears down. Well, it doesn't. That true, individualized, super intelligent, cosmic energy is the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. But because of the power of mind and the way we use it, we can imagine ourselves to be tankless, so to speak, to be on fumes by the end of the day, instead of all tanked up. So this is a wonderful week as we approach our celebration. Perhaps in a way we haven't quite done so before, because I find in people great gratitude for simple little things now, and things that most of us took for granted before. We have a deep appreciation for now, which is the good that comes out of everything. And if we could just look at ourselves and see ourselves as this wonderful orbit. We're all orbiting in our own energetic field, and we all are magnetic fields. And to look at ourselves and see, well, what kind of an energetic field am I orbiting in? And as a magnetic field, what kind of energy am I attracting into me, you see? Because each one of us is. If I'm putting out negative energy, I'm attracting a whole lot more back into my field of energy. And I don't want that, and you don't either. But if I'm putting out the blessings, the blessings, the blessings, the blessings, the blessings, all that beautiful energy is flowing back to me. And let me tell you, when that's the case, your energy field will not topple ever below 51%, ever. And it'll be a piece of cake for you to keep it at 50% and much higher. If we go back to my first premise, to bless and to bless and to bless again. What is a blessing? It's a potent energy that I'm sending out through my energy field to the world, to all of creation, or to individuals, or to places. Yes, I have that power, and so have you. Why? Because I am an outlet to the inlet of amazing grace. That's why I'm here. That's why I was created. So the Spirit could show up by means of each individual one of us. The only God you're ever going to know is the God you're going to find in yourself and in others. That's the way of evolution. That's the way of the creative divine design. And if you cannot find this thing called God, which is, of course, this thing called life, within yourself, you're not going to find it out there. Everything out there is going to be less than, lacking, wanting, not measuring up to your idea of whatever it is you think life is. It's you. Foremostly, it's you. It's you and all that you uniquely are. And you will be creating this energy through the way you're thinking, through the way you're feeling, through the way you are acting, and through the way you're being. That's how everything gets taken care of. I must change. It is a part of me, and I ought not to be resisting it, because I can't stop change. Why would I keep resisting it? I cannot stop change. It's the order of life as we know it. And it's good, because the whole idea is to change into more and more and more of ourselves, to become more and more and more of ourselves, to expand and to grow and to deepen and to become more of the great self that each one of us is. By what? Peeling away the layers of all of the illusionary stuff we've allowed to come into ourselves and accept as truth. And as I keep saying these days, it's so clear to me these days, life is never about multiplication. It's about subtraction. It's never about getting everything and anything I can get from out there. It's about subtracting from myself all the erroneous stuff I have had stuffed into me, either by myself or from the outside world. That is not true. That would have me believe that I'm less than I am. That would have me believe that others are greater than I am, better than I am, and so on, which is not true. Each and every one of us come in the very same status, with the very same powers, each and every one of us. What we do with them creates the illusion that some are greater than others. They're not. Every single individualized expression of life anywhere present is an aspect of the divine, the creator that created it. And that power and that presence and that energy is in that, whether it's a speck or whether it's a ginormous mountain, or whether it's the little baby or the wisest person in existence. The very same amazing grace and power and intelligence flows through everything and everyone. You're amazing. All of life is amazing. Everything is amazing. I just was reading somewhere this morning that if enough ants got together, it's an African saying, get enough ants together and they can carry an elephant off. Well, that'd be a sight to see. And that is sounding very fantastic. But why not feel about yourself the wonder and awe that life feels about you? If you and I could think about ourselves, feel about ourselves, the way the originator of our being is aware of us, well, there is nothing of good that you and I could not experience. There is nothing of good that we could not do. Nothing of good that we could not be. Not a thing. That's how amazingly awesome. You as an individualized expression, no one like you, nothing on the planet or in creation like you. You're one of a kind. You're one of the one. You are an individualized pulse and beat and sensation in the one. And those beats I see as pulses and beats of light. Light energy that's infinitely intelligent. And when it combines with other beats and pulses, the power of that collective force is not even imaginable. So can you imagine if you and I and more people understood this and united minds and united hearts to bring about mending and feeling and healing and fixing in our world? It could be done. We wouldn't even need a vaccine if we were that advanced and that awake. But in the meantime, I'm knowing that vaccine is there and it's going to work immediately. That's what I'm knowing. What are you knowing right now? There are many good things that we can know, or many bad things we can know. What are you knowing? Because whatever it is you're knowing is affecting your mind, your body, your heart, your soul, and the body of your affairs. It really is. We infect ourselves through the way we think and feel and behave at times when that's on the negative side of life. We need to be affected, I think, affected by spirit, the true essence of our being. If we could stop over-identifying with our humanity and start really encountering our divinity, I mean, we'd be just delighted all the time. We'd be like young children, first going to kindergarten and learning new things and running home to share the new things they're learning every day. We would have that beautiful grace of the beginner's mind all of the time. And all of the time is a beginning. And all of the time there's something to learn. And all of the time there's something to release and let go of. And stop being Klingons to all we hold near and dear that really and truly are golden calves that we worship and ought not to, perhaps. So, would you be willing is the question, just to give yourself a chance and enter into a beautiful relationship with yourself and start to honor yourself and love yourself and appreciate yourself for the beauty and the grace that you are and the individualized expression of the one that you are and the one and only individual person that you are. If we could get a grasp on that, how good we would feel, not only feel, but we would be treating ourselves well. We would be kind and compassionate and caring to ourselves as we are to others. But I think that the more kindness and compassion we can show ourselves, the more we'll have to show others. So have a very good week, full of blessings and full of gratitude. And please join us, let us come together, let us be connected energy to serve the world in that way for our service at 6:30 next Wednesday night on Thanksgiving Eve. And then you'll begin your celebrations in a beautiful way we will all have render to God the things that are God's, and then we can go render to Caesar the things that are Caesar's in our little celebrations and our wonderful, food and all of that. And thank you, everyone who are thinking about those who are in need and will not be having that kind of a Thanksgiving or celebration at all. Thank you for bringing in the food. Thank you for bringing in the things you bring in that we get passed on and so on. And I cannot express how grateful I am for your donations, which keeps this going. It's not just keeping the doors, open, the rent paid and the bills paid and all of that. That's part of it. But the biggest part that we're keeping going is our work and our aid, not only locally, but globally. We have a very far reach, especially with the virtual community now. And our charitable concerns are very varied and universal. And wherever there's a need that we find crosses our path, we endeavor to meet it. But we couldn't without your help. So we're so grateful to you for that. Thank you, and thank you for those of you who got together. And last Thursday, we celebrated together, as we had our Pledge Festival. And you'll be hearing more about that too. So I will just now go and get my gift and be ready to bless it. And you may have already handed in yours or sent in yours or texted in yours. Nowadays, there's so many ways to do things, aren't there? But it's always a rejoicing for me. It's always a celebration for me when I give anything away. And I don't feel I'm the giver that's giving it away at all. I feel there's something bigger in it all. And I'm just so grateful every single day of my life for my daily bread and for the source of all of my good. So let's take our gift between our hands now and let us say, divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, to bless, and to prosper all those who give and all those who receive. I rejoice in the sharing of my good, and I release my gift with love. And so it is. So stay tuned in, everybody. If you don't know how to get online, if you don't know how to, connect, call in. We'll help you. There are people willing to help you to maneuver the virtual world. But join us. It's important to see each other's face and to hear each other's voice and to be in each other's company. It really is. Do not be put off by technology if that is one of the reasons why you're not connecting. Just let us know. We're here to serve in any way we can serve. We're here to be here for you. So I'm going to leave you now the way the grandniece and nephew always leave company, Isla and Ryan. Take care of yourselves because you're so important, so essential, and so needed, especially now.